This is our third video for US history. Third video. I had the clipboard. I haven't started the video and my computer shut down, so that's all gone. It's already been updated for video 4, which is coming in a couple of days. But this is video 3. And in video 3, I'd like to talk a little bit more about Maine, militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism. Specifically, I want to talk about the assignments that students submitted. So this is what I can see on my side. I would love to do a Zoom and get to have you share the screen and see your side. But on my side, when you guys submit assignments, I can see a list of everybody. I can see who turned stuff in, and I don't want you to think that these things are graded in a way that can hurt you. So that's why I can't like put scores in and mark like I saw this. I still need to go through and comment on a lot of things, but what I did was I opened up all of this work that was submitted. And so here's what I can see on my end. Again, so this is Dorian's spreadsheet, and you can see all this stuff that I had, updated. I think I did the Second Samoan War, but then you can also see what Dorian added. And so that's really, so I took all of this stuff. I thought it was Dorian's that, oh yeah, Dorian did take something from the reading about World War II and use it on here, and I really loved that. Anywho, sorry, I took everybody's spreadsheet. So I took Dorian's and I took Kellyanne's. Kellyanne is someone that did the whole thing. Girl, look at you, what? And I took, who else's? Shanija's and Devin's and Justin's and De Niro's, and it's loading real slow. I'd like to see more of everybody's, but we can go ahead and actually close all of these windows because they're going to slow us down. So I took all of them and I copied them over to a master document that I made. I want to update it for my own records. I like to have my own notes that are very complete and thorough. Helps me to remember things up in my own brain, but I took all those notes and I put them onto one chart. So my full chart has these earlier conflicts like the Mexican-American War, American Civil War, but I wanted us to focus on things that fall kind of within our time period. So I have the names over here and you can't see them. Like I know this is De Niro's row right here, but I took everybody's answers and I put them in the same document. So everybody who did the Banana Wars and did research on that, boom, that's everything. Everyone who did research on the Spanish-American War, boom, there's everything. Philippine-American War. These are ones that I filled it in. So no one did that because I had filled it in. World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the Persian Gulf War. I had the Bosnian Wars, or sorry, the Yugoslav Wars of Bosnia and Kosovo on my own document. I actually add Kosovo, so that's kind of important to me. Something that happened during my lifetime that I was just really ignorant of. And I look back and I'm like, man, what's up with that? I was, oh, I hate those. Okay, that's why. Yeah, I was, 13 years old when Kosovo happened, and it's not really aware of it. But anyway, Afghanistan, Iraq, okay, and then these are extra ones as well that not quite wars, but armed conflicts that have happened in recent years, and that can be kind of complicated. That's a whole other conversation. It's like, what is war versus an armed conflict that the country gets involved in? But I looked over everything, and once more people have submitted stuff, I'll update it further and I'll share. But I want you to notice like all of this like orangish yellow. Those are all things that I was like, yes, like that is correct. That's an example of militarism or entangling alliances or imperialism or nationalism. Okay, so in yellow is where I did that. In green, those are things I marked because I felt like that was maybe you didn't understand what the answer you given was, or it was an inference you clearly made, but I liked it, or I thought like that's the right answer, but I don't know if that's how it was meant in the first place. Like I can read more deeply into it. And then blue are things that I marked. I was like, that's actually a correct and relevant answer. It's just not exactly in the right column. So maybe it's not militarism, alliances, imperialism, or nationalism. So I thought this was really great, and I'm really excited to do more with spreadsheets like this in the future using Google Classroom. It's totally possible, and I also thought it was interesting to see how sometimes people who clearly didn't work together, had the same copied and pasted answer, because we're just doing quick research here. So they copied and pasted from a source. So like on this one, De Niro and Kellyanne, for related to imperialism for the Banana Wars, said these wars were a direct result of American imperialism infringing on the affairs of Central America. Great. And then Kellyanne had the same thing. And what's interesting is De Niro actually went and pulled information from somewhere else too and added that. And then Kellyanne, I think, just kept copying from that same like paragraph. But overall, this is really cool. Spanish-American War. It's something that I would love to have had a whole day to talk to you guys and look at some videos and stuff about. How does it relate to these main causes? Militarism, Spanish-American War is, let's see, this person say, talking about an explosion of a ship, yes. Talking about ongoing struggle of Cubans and Filipinos against Spanish rule, and America wanted to help with that. So America wanted to use the military, starting alliances with other countries that we ultimately, a lot of answers over here said, as imperialists, we went to help the Cubans and the Filipinos and then took over. And we're like, well, this is our land now. With Cuba, we just took part, but with the Philippines, led to an entirely new conflict that several of you researched. So you talked about how it related to imperialism, that the Filipinos wanted independence and America came over and tried to take over. I like this. This was an answer from Hubie. Hubie also did the whole spreadsheet. Good job, Hubie. That was awesome. Hubie said that the basic causes of the war was America's quest for an overseas empire. And what's really interesting about that, I've listened to several podcasts in the last couple of months about this idea of when America became America. Like instead of people referring to it as the United States, the idea of the states were individuals that came together as a country, but just like this is a whole country that happens to have states. We switched that kind of mindset once we start taking over places abroad, like the Philippines, Cuba, etc., and saying like, well, there's America and the United States, and then there's America where like we have taken these other places and they're not quite us, but they're like territory we're taking over. It's a complicated thing, and I'm getting confused about it. Anyhow, World War II and One. World War One. I really hope. I feel like I haven't done it justice with these videos and readings, but it's Maine. Like most, a lot of teachers use Maine when teaching about the First World War, and I see how it relates to everything. So with the First World War, every country's building up their military and wants to use that in a certain way. When you jump up to World War II, right away it's the Germans. Germans weren't supposed to build up their military after World War I. That was something the Treaty of Versailles called for as an act of revenge. But the Germans under Hitler break that, and so they build up their military and they really want to use it aggressively. How does it relate to alliances? World War I, you've got a bunch of countries get dragged into a conflict between Serbia, where an Austrian leader was assassinated, so the Austrian gets killed in Serbia. Austria demands vengeance and justice, and Serbia's like, back off, bro. And then Russia comes in and is like, yo, back off of my friend Serbia, Austria. And then that leads to Germany stepping in for Austria. Boom, 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 boom. It all just happens so quickly. In World War II, we have some similar alliances that pop up, but actually before the war, even Germany forms relationships with Italy and Japan, and wanting to have friendly alliances with them. They actually have a peace treaty with Russia at first, the Soviet Union, and then Germany ends up betraying them and invading. And if they hadn't done that, they might have actually been more successful in the war. But we'll talk about that later. Imperialism, World War I is all about we want more land, so it's time to fight again. Let's get more. World War II, Germany is certainly imperial, and Japan is going to be as well. And we'll hopefully have time to pop into that. Oh, there's so much we could talk about: internment camps, atrocities, the bomb, and then there's still the civil rights unit to do, and the Korean War and Vietnam War and all kinds of other things. There's never enough time. This is my first time teaching U.S. history in a while, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to be smarter and quicker in the future. But nationalism is a really tricky concept. World War II, it's a lot more obvious in the way that it's extreme because Hitler drives the Germans to see themselves as superior to everyone, especially to Jews and homosexuals and people in other countries and people of color. And Romani, or gypsy, is actually a slur word sometimes used for Romani people, people who are nomads and they travel a lot. Anyway, uh, whose was this answer? Nationalism. This was Tisaya. I don't know where we got this, Tisaya, maybe from the source you cited, but the Germans used nationalism to override individual self-interest and subjugate the welfare of the general population to achieve social goals. Lots of nice big words there. And that definitely is an example of fascism. That's a great explanation of fascism with nice big words. Another great thing over, I just noticed Lebensraum. We're going to talk about that, living space for Germany. That's another interesting thing too for imperialism. So you guys did really well in World War II. Look at all that orange yellow. Korean War was done really well, and so was Vietnam. Persian Gulf War, I'm not as much of an expert on, so I marked this in pink. But yeah, this was great. I'm going to add more to it as students do more and share it. And then hopefully we'll come back to it in a week or so. I need to wrap this up because I want to be better about making videos not be too long. So I hope you're well. Happy Mother's Day to all of the moms and grandmoms and aunts and everybody out there, siblings that are help take care of other siblings now and stuff like that. So anybody who's being awesome, especially moms though, thank you. And yeah, I'm gonna go update the grade book and then post another video in a couple of days about Hitler. And I'll be on Zoom for office hours. I'm always here if you want to text or call or email, questions about anything or concerns about anything. So thanks. Take care. Bye.